Number 6, I think we're on. Today's lesson is, I guess, generally just talking about prayer and stuff like that. So, okay. First sort of activity we can definitely do together. We're going to listen to the chorus of What a Friend We Have in Jesus and then discuss what the lyrics of that chorus mean. So, yeah. It should be at the right place. Alright, so general overview of the chorus is that line right there. So what do those lyrics mean to you?
Jesus is like my friend, and I don't, he has taken the burdens of my sin upon himself.
Okay, yeah. I think my favorite line is just that it's a privilege that we can pray. We shouldn't take it for something for granted that, we can do this, who cares? Kind of thing. So yeah. Alright, simple scenario. This kind of relates more to girls than you, but oh well. Okay, so imagine this. Adrian asks Katie to be his girlfriend. And she says yes. And Adrian's overjoyed until he notices something strange. When Adrian calls Katie, she never answers or calls back. At school, she ignores him, and when he runs into her at the park, she just smiles and waves. One day, Adrian overhears someone in the lunchroom asking Katie if she's dating Adrian. And she says, "Oh yeah," all gushingly. "I'm totally in love with him." So how do you guys think Adrian feels?
Like Jesus. Sometimes, when people say that they're Christians and then they go and I only call on God when I need him the most, and all those other times, he's just some dude, and
Yeah, that's actually the general point of the next sentence is, how do you think God feels when we're eager to say we're Christians, but we never pray or read his word, ever?
And he probably feels like, oh man, look at them, they're using me.
Yeah.
These are my children, and they don't acknowledge my presence other than these moments.
Yeah. Alright, if you guys want to grab Bibles and somebody turn to 1 Thessalonians 5:17, and if one of you guys could get 1 Chronicles 16:11, please.
So he just has a table of contents.
That's why you should study it.
What was the thing again?
You know what?
1 Chronicles 16:11. In the 1 Thessalonians.
Therefore,
16:11.
Yeah.
No, not
You want to read that, please?
Seek the Lord in his strength. Seek his face evermore.
Okay. So my version is about the same. Seek the Lord in his strength. Seek his presence continually. And then you have 1 Thessalonians 5:17.
Pray without ceasing.
Okay. And so a lot of people are like, oh, ceasing, that's not an everyday word we use. Ceasing means to stop and be done with, finished. So when it says pray without ceasing, pretty much just saying pray without stopping. Don't be like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. So this doesn't necessarily mean that we should wake up every morning, kneel by our bed, and pray until it's time to go to sleep again. Be a bit interesting, but instead it means that you need to set aside time to pray every day. And it means that you need to live with an attitude and a mindset of prayer, and that you should start thinking of how you can honor God and love others every single day and not just on occasion. You should see your homeless man on the street and find yourself praying for him, or find yourself praying for kids at school that you know are struggling, or whether you have hard tests or job problems, whatever it is, any tough situations, you need to be praying for, because it's important to have that relationship with God. And yes, you can pray on occasion for things that you want, and there's actually scripture that goes with that. It says Psalms 37, 4-5, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. And in Psalm 145:18 is the Lord is near to all that call on him, and to all who call on him in truth, versus just calling on him because you want something at that specific day and time. Okay, so there's an endless list of things you can pray about. Your problems don't really have to be like huge, or you don't have to be like, oh, I'm dying and I need prayer. It doesn't have to be anything big. Like, if we're frustrated or we have dreams and problems
Beside that have glasses.
and
Real glasses.
needs and stuff like that, it's definitely just pray about whatever you need, no matter how insignificant it seems like it is. So, like, what are some things that you guys could easily think of, like, this is stuff I can pray for easily? Just a couple of subjects or specific things.
My mom quitting her cursing and her smoking and her incessant piercing.
Okay.
It's kind of like my daily walk with God to like grow closer.
Mhm. Yeah, so those are just two random examples, and I'm sure we could come up with a lot more. So there are things that we need to remember when praying, though. God is not a genie off of Aladdin who pops out of a magical lamp thing and grants our wish every time we ask. It doesn't, it's not that simple. It's not who God is. The purpose of prayer is to develop a strong, growing relationship with him. And I went to a prayer conference this weekend, and it was super, super awesome, and then this just happened to be the lesson, so I thought that was ironically really cool. And the entire weekend was just, you can't be close with God if you just say, oh, I love God. It's not possible. I can't be close with Megan if I say, I know Megan's first name and last name. That doesn't mean I'm close with her.
What?
So, the purpose of having a relationship with God isn't so that you can try and manipulate him into giving everything you want. But also, like, any conversation, what do you guys think is the most important thing to remember when you're talking with another person?
To get their side of the story in.
Exactly. That's pretty much exactly. When you're talking to God, it is not always you. You need to stop and listen to him and what he has to say. And sometimes it's not specifically spoken to you, but maybe spoken through his word or somebody else. Something like that. So what would you guys, as for beginners, people that don't really pray a lot, would you guys have any recommendations of you should pray this many minutes a day, approximately?
15.
No, just kind of set a time, apart 5 minutes, sometime in your day,
Mm-hmm.
just set them aside for devotion and praying to God. And then when you get into that habit, you're gonna start wanting to pray more.
Yeah. Okay, and then if somebody wants to grab Matthew 7:23, Tammy, you want to grab that, please?
Yeah. 23.
7:23, yeah.
And then I will declare to them, I never knew you, depart from me, you who practice lawlessness.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys as pastors and ministers and whatever people at church have ever told you this, but you can't draw close to God if if you just call on him when you need him. You can't just one day decide, oh, I need him today, but not the rest of my life. I just need him today. You need to know him on a personal level. And it says in many places in the Bible that when on Judgment Day, if you don't know God, that's the first thing he's going to ask you. Do you know me? Well, I was a Christian. I helped out with the homeless shelter. I did community service, blah, blah, blah. But you don't know him because you've never had a relationship with him. So it's really important that building that relationship process. So yeah, discussion. Easiest questions of the entire thing. Okay, so personally, you guys we can go around the group and answer. So when do you guys think would be the easiest time for you to pray? 5-10 minutes a day. Morning, bedtime, or afternoon?
In the morning, like when you wake up.
Okay. And I would say in the morning because I'm really a morning or evening person. I just find more time in the morning.
Crazy person.
I would say like late at night.
Okay.
'Cause I'm not a morning person. Like when I wake up in the morning, I forget to do like stuff, and I would totally forget to pray in the morning.
Yeah.
No matter how much I'm like the night before, like when you wake up you gotta pray. Like, so if I have to take time at the end of my day to say, what, tomorrow you have to wake up and pray, I would rather pray at the end of my day when I say that instead
Just
of
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, and it works for everybody differently. Like, when would you find the most convenient time for you to pray?
Probably at night.
At night?
Yeah.
Okay. At night? Yeah. So everybody is different. I mean, it's all different. So what are steps and changes that you can make in your life to make sure that prayer is one of your top priorities?
Maybe just like putting God first before yourself.
Definitely putting prayer and God before other activities in general. Yeah. I'm better about it now, but I used to set phone alarms or whatever you have to set an alarm to remind me because I would forget a lot. All right. And then what are, other than like an alarm clock, what are like ideas that could help you pray? Like prayer journal, stuff like that.
I use Expo marker and write on my mirror.
Okay, so write it on your mirror. Maybe write it in a notebook. Any other?
Sticky notes all over your room.
Sticky notes, okay. Some people are like more comfortable praying like only in a small room by themselves, or why they go on a walk, just kind of in their mind frame. So for everybody, it really depends. All right, cool. Well, last week's challenge, you guys could pretty much just answer the question. I don't have it written down, but I'm pretty sure I remember it. Like, what are 3 different leaderships that you could go into in your lifetime? Any ideas?
Yeah, I
You could be a prayer group leader. You could be a manager. You could start your own club.
Yeah. So I think there's plenty. Do you have any?
like I kind of want to be like a youth group leader, a worship leader, and just like someone who leads the broken.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. Well, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.